This is episode 53 of Friend or Foe, and I very proudly welcome my two friends, Bola Ogun and Pickles Kintaro. Bola is a phenomenal filmmaker, writer, producer, and actress whose short film The Water Phoenix has been picking up all sorts of laurels wherever it plays in film festivals all across America. She just finished her second short, which is called Are We Good Parents?, which stars Tracy Toms and Sean McGuire from Once Upon a Time on ABC. Bola is just the coolest. And it's always a pleasure speaking with her, and I know you guys are going to really enjoy listening to all the things she has to talk about. My second guest is Pickles Kintaro, who is the creator and I'll say guru of Al-Stravaganza, which is the absolutely amazing Weird Al-inspired burlesque show. It is all Weird Al. Every costume, every dance number, all the, shall we say, erotic fun is Weird Al themed. And let me tell you, it is an incredible show. I saw it the last time it came through Los Angeles. This year it's at the Club Fay Dodo on Adams Boulevard here in Los Angeles. And guys, if you're in LA, you got to check out this show. Pickles is amazing. She doesn't perform in the show so much as just as coordinating them, but she is just electric. Her performers are all really amazing. So please check out that show. Of course, I'll have the link in the episode description. And also, this episode is brought to you by the all-new Samsung Galaxy Note 8. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 features an incredible 6.3-inch infinity screen, the all-new S Pen, which allows you to write notes and send messages without unlocking your phone. And let me tell you, it allows you to create some really, really cool designs. I've been doing a promo for Samsung, so they gave me a phone to use, and I've been trying out all of the cool toys on it. It is amazing. You can it has what's called App Pair, where you can use two apps simultaneously while it's in horizontal mode. Which is super cool. You know, I'm a social media nut, and having Instagram and Twitter open at the same time is a really, really cool resource. So I can do all sorts of posting simultaneously and cross-referencing things. It's super, super cool. The Note 8 is also dust and water resistant. You can also pair it with all sorts of really cool Samsung accessories like the Gear 360 VR headset. Oh man, I've been playing with this. It's just such an incredible, immersive, interactive experience, and you really, truly got to check it out. So, the Samsung Note 8 is available at your local Sprint store. Check it out. And without further ado, here is episode 53 with Bola Ogun and Pickles Kintaro.
This is the Jabberjaw Podcast Network.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. We're just jumping right into it.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm good with that.
So, welcome, Bola.
Thanks.
My very, very good friend, Bola.
Yay.
I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you asked.
I've been trying to get you on the show for a while.
Like 2 weeks.
To talk about all your things.
Like
that's forever
2
for
weeks.
me.
That's so long.
When you were helping Rachel move, I was like, "Hey, I got this podcast," because I'm shamelessly plugging it at all points and with all people.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to plug anything and everything you're doing when you're nobody. And it's so funny because I was listening to, or I wasn't listening to, I remember a couple years ago when Maroon 5, don't judge me, was talking about how like they couldn't give their records away at one point. You know what I mean? Like they would try to, like people on Hollywood Boulevard or whatever.
Sure,
trying to give
stand
stuff
around
away.
trying to put it in your pocket, down your shirt. Yeah.
And it got to the point like they're so famous now that like shit just leaks. Wait,
Sure.
Can we cuss on this?
Fuck yeah. Go ahead.
I don't even. It's like, wait a minute. What's the?
I encourage it. Yeah.
PG-13.
Not at all.
Yeah, they couldn't give it away, and now it's hard to like even keep it a secret. And so when you're beginning, you just have to pimp it out at any point, and it's so exhausting.
And speaking of pimping things out, you're pimping all sorts of projects right now. Like you got so much going. You were it was hard to get you in here in the studio because you were on your laptop, obviously making another $1 million deal. Tell me all about it.
Jesus. No, I mean, I can't say too much because it's not like official, but and what's funny, and it's going to sound weird, but like it's so low budget, the thing that it's possible, like it's so low budget. It's less than what my short cost, my first short. And so it's funny that these people are interested in having me direct their feature, but like they're basing their interests on something that costs 7 times more than what they want to do for a feature. So
oh wow.
It's a good. I'm trying to think of it as like, it's a good person problem. Like people are interested in you, and that's something to be happy and proud of. But at the same time, it's like I don't really need the challenge of trying to make a feature work for as much money as they're trying to do it for.
Yeah.
It's just like another problem. And then on top of that, I'm just trying to find like the day job too. Like I've been very lucky for this year to like spend time on projects. I produced like 4 projects, including my own this year, and I'm very proud of it and I'm very happy with it. But now I'm like, starving artist broke.
Right.
So I'm trying to like find a job while also keep the ball rolling on the creative front, which is, as any person who's a starving artist will tell you, is not easy.
Amen, sister. Points itself. I've been extraordinarily fortunate this year. In the past few months, I've picked up some pretty incredible things. I'm working on a project for CBS.
Congratulations.
Thank you. On Thursday, which I'm stoked about. I don't know if I can talk about it or not, so I guess I won't, but I'll be.
Oh, great. So you and I will not talk about these
we'll
projects.
not talk about
we'll talk about them
anything.
vaguely. It's really exciting.
Yeah, being all mysterious, but you have some. I mean, you're killing it. Seriously, I mean, I know you don't have any cash in your pocket right now, but you are killing it. The Water Phoenix opened at the LA Shorts Fest. I
World
saw
premiere.
it. Incredible. Lots of famouses were there also. Aya Cash was in attendance, as was Amy Okuda. I saw her leaving the theater. And David Greenwald, who I met, which is freaking awesome. I mentioned Buffy and Angel.
That was
You're
insane.
damn right he did. I'm sure he did. Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to talk to you. Everybody wants to talk to you, Bola.
Yeah, it was hard because like it's nice. I wanted to talk to everybody, but like you're also just kind of in a whirlwind, and they're also trying to push people out for the next screening, so you don't really get to like sit and hang and actually digest the situation or digest the moment. But it was really cool, like to have people. It's also really weird to see it with strangers for the first time because like the only other time that I'd seen it on a screen, I hadn't even seen it on a screen that big, but like when I did see it, it was all friends and family. It was a friends and family screening, and so they're all rooting for you to like do well, and so they're very excited. But in a room full of strangers, you're just like, do they like it? Do they hate it? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that crowd reaction was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, somebody
Everyone
has to tell me
enjoyed it.
because I think I blacked out. I just like I blacked out and was just judging the screen of like, is the color right? Does it look okay?
Sure.
I worked really hard, and I've always made fun of people who are like directors who are so specific about that kind of thing. I'm like, nobody cares. It looks great. I have become that person. I look at it and I go, what the fuck? There's more green. There's supposed to be more green there. It's not that blue.
That
God
scale
damn
was
it.
out of place.
Is this the right track? This is not the right track. Like you're just looking at every little piece of it, and it's going to be hard to just sit back and enjoy it for a minute, I think. But I can't wait. I'm glad that it's out there now because I've been working on it for a long time.
It really is excellent, Bola. I'm so glad that I got to see it in its world premiere, which was pretty incredible. And you have the next one that's coming up is pretty awesome.
Are We Good Parents? Mm-hmm.
I actually meant the next screening, but yes, your next film.
Next screening. Yeah. Well, the next screening's this. I don't know when this podcast is going to go up, but this weekend or what is it? I don't know what day it is. August
the 22nd.
The 26th, I think.
I mean, whatever day. Insert date this has released.
August 26th at the Half Fest, my short, The Water Phoenix, will be opening the Ryan Murphy directing showcase. So that's really cool. Like, it's the first one ever. There's a lot of attention around what he's doing because it's helping fix the diversity problem that our industry has, which is, everybody's very aware of it. And they all seem to sit around the table going, how do we fix this? And like, the answer is, hire people. Mm-hmm. And he's doing that. He's giving people a chance to meet with other directors who are already established and create a relationship, and also create a relationship with Fox and other Fox entities like FX and Fox 21. And, that's a testament to what he's doing, and to Nase Popa, who's running the program. And he's doing a fantastic job. He's very strategic about who he picks and where he puts them in the lineup when it comes to all the Ryan Murphy shows. He's very specific about it, and it's almost like a Rain Man side of the situation. Like, he's like very calculated about it, and I love that about him, because nothing he does is on an accident. Nothing he chooses, no one he chooses, nothing he puts is there by accident. He's very specific about it, and he's so passionate about helping new filmmakers, and I'm so glad to be a part of the inaugural class of this thing. So
this is a big deal, Bola. Congratulations!
Thank you.
This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, because the last one is like, okay, you're there with moviegoers. They may be strangers, but they're at least moviegoers. Now I'm going to screen in front of a bunch of industry people who might have their arms crossed.
Sure,
and be like, impress me.
But the thing about it is, the hard part is over. Right? You made the film.
Yes, I made the film.
You made the
nice.
film.
Yeah.
You all kinds of made the film.
Yeah.
You wrote, produced, directed, and starred in the film. I should say present tense. You star in the film, and you're amazing in it.
Thank you.
Not only for the diversity aspect of it, but you're a frickin' mermaid.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the mermaid part. I mean, it's kind of why I did it. I just wanted to do a project that would stand out, that would be different from most of what you see. And, I really like the sci-fi fantasy world, and I don't see a lot of diversity there. So that's why I wanted to kind of make that my first short, because so many times, like, you could do the smaller thing. Like, Are We Good Parents? As actually, I would have despised trying to do this first. I don't know that I could have come up with it first, because I was so against trying to do like 2-3 people in a room talking and trying to make that something cool. And it's really hard to make that something cool, really, like flashy. Although Are We Good Parents, I think is really cool for a different aspect.
Completely.
Like, it's just, I think it tackles some modern day parenting questions that we all ask ourselves, even though I'm not a parent. But The Water Phoenix, I want to do big budget, epic features. Like, I would love to do kind of, the Christopher Nolan type movies, the big, not too distant future movies, like Looper and Inception and like Oblivion. Actually, that's pretty distant, but like, I love those kind of films. So I wanted to make it very clear from the beginning of my journey as a filmmaker what kind of work I wanted to do.
And you definitely established that. I mean, you knocked it out of the park from the get-go. And Are We Good Parents, as you just said, is also really amazing in all the ways. And I know we can't talk about it too much because it's not out yet.
Right.
But it stars the amazing Tracy Toms and Sean McGuire.
From Once Upon a Time.
And who is the lovely
Gabrielle
actress?
Sky Goodman. She's so awesome.
Who is incredible.
She's so awesome. I wish I could say introducing, but like, I totally didn't discover her. So, So she's just an awesome actress who I'm really glad to have in my short, and who adds and holds her own against, titans like Tracy and Sean, who've been working for decades. So
yeah, she sure does.
Yeah, it was really fun. And that one I've watched so many times. Like The Water Phoenix, I got sick of watching it. It's just like another pass I have to watch. Another pass. Like, why isn't this finished? But Are We Good Parents? I mean, that was so quick. It took a while for us to shoot because of schedules. Our actors' schedules didn't quite line up. But once we did shoot, I mean, the pre-production and post was all of like 5 weeks. Like that was it, and we were done.
Wow.
Yeah, super quick.
That's an amazing turnaround.
Super quick. Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm in the privileged circle. I got to see it. Because it's so cool. I can't wait for everybody to watch it.
Thanks. Fingers crossed. We'll see where we land. But I think people, I don't know. It's hard. I don't know yet. It's another. I don't know what people's reactions are going to be to it. So we'll see. But
Indeed. Yeah.
Maybe I'll come back and talk about that one.
Okay. No doubt. You better come back to the show. And talk about it. I will be. Actually, I love to do a remote with you during the premiere because.
Oh, during the premiere of Are We Good Parents?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it up.
Yeah. What does it up? What done does it up?
That's right.
The
That's
show.
right.
But yeah, what else you want to talk about?
Everything, Bola. All about you. Like, what was the genesis of you wanting to be a filmmaker?
It started with, like, I moved here to act. I moved to LA 10 years ago. Jesus Christ.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, thanks. I made it. And barely sometimes. All the wow. That's not supposed to ring. I'll fix that. Hold on.
How dare you?
What the fuck? I thought you said this would work. The do not disturb. It did not work. Well, but also I feel like it's you know what is annoying? It's like some freaking, like, telemarketer calling me. It's like the fourth call or whatever. I don't know.
Because that's exactly when they call you, is in the middle of an important thing.
In the middle of a podcast. Because they don't care.
They don't give a shit.
Ooh, movie voice. You know we should really find a time to like have a female movie voice. And I know there's a movie about this.
Yes.
I love that. Lake Bell.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I saw a piece of it. It's on Netflix, right?
I think so. It's
In
called
a World.
In a World.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah. And speaking of women who have directed, written, and acted in their own project, Lake Bell. Mm-hmm. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you should totally check it out. Plug. Yeah, I started to think about filmmaking or being a filmmaker and not just an actress when I realized, like, I'm a dark-skinned Black woman and I didn't feel like there were going to be opportunities that I was interested in. Like, they're just, the people don't make parts. I remember a manager just straight up telling me when he got my I sent him my my resume and headshot, and he flat out was like, I don't know what to do with you. You know?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, great, okay, but like, I don't know what to do. Seriously, this is a real conversation that happened. And I was like, well, like, I could do anything. Like, play a doctor, like, you know, I could be a person, okay? But that's,
I would like to play a human, please. Right,
but that's unfortunately how the industry thinks. I mean, they put everybody in boxes. That's how they do what they do, which I get, but they don't even think outside of like, oh, this is the blonde and this is the brunette and this is the redhead. And like, they don't really think past that. You kind of have to tell them who you are, which is why I was like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'd been working as a PA for a long time. And, you know, I just noticed how it went. And even if I had a manager and agent, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go out more than once or twice a month on auditions. And you know how hard it is to like audition in LA.
Amen,
like
sister.
It's all about the numbers. And if you're only going out 24 times a year, like, your chances of actually booking anything or booking anything good are so small. The percentage is so ridiculously small. And I didn't know how to compete with that. And also just, as a PA, when I was working as a PA, like I didn't have time for anything anyway, like much less kind of sit around and wait and hope for somebody to give me an audition that I wait and hope to book. So that's when I started thinking of like, what can I do to change that? What can I do to tell the industry what to do with me since they don't know what to do? So that's what I started to think about. And then I don't know, somebody told me about the AFI directing workshop for women, which I didn't take too seriously until a couple of years, like 4 years ago, when I'd worked on one project called Silk, and that was directed by Catherine Dent, and I was the key second AD on that, and was just really admiring how it was running and how small, like how low budget it could be and still get it done. Same thing when I first AD'd a USC thesis film, which wasn't as good, and the director had no idea what he was doing. I was like, oh, well, if this guy can do it.
Yep.
I mean, he knows nothing, and I know so much more. Why don't I just give it a try? So when the submissions came for the AFI Directing Workshop for Women, again, I was trying to think of something that was unique. And I personally respond to like supernatural storytelling, zombies. I love Walking Dead.
Yes.
So good. Although I'm like a season behind.
Oh, no.
I know. I haven't seen anything.
Oh, no. We got to have a marathon day.
Oh God, I would love that. Zombies, werewolves, and vampires, but we've done those so many times. We've overdone them. Like it's I think people are just kind of tired of it. They've seen it a million times, and I was like, well, what have we not explored supernatural wise in the same vein, in the same dark gritty vein with those kind of lenses? And mermaids, we haven't really done that. Although now, like I've been working on this project for like 2-3 years, and now there's like a TV show.
Now they're out there, yeah.
Yeah, and now there's like a couple movies that are about to be made too. So, it's that's where it started being. That's where the journey started, and I just kind of, as I was going through the program, started to learn more about storytelling and visual storytelling and how to do, all the things I would have learned in film school had I gone. So it was really nice. It really opened up my mind to how to do this correctly and how to tell stories. And that's a testament to it. Because Are We Good Parents, I had the idea, I just didn't know how to execute it. Years ago, it came from my sister who told me she was gay at 19. And I was like, wait a minute, why did you think I wouldn't be okay with this?
Right.
So I always thought it was a funny idea. I just didn't know what to do with it. So through all the story, all those experiences, I was able to like figure out how to tell that story. Like,
yeah.
Am I making sense?
No,
I feel
you're
like I'm
making
rambling.
absolute sense. That's really incredible how it all came to be, and both films are truly fantastic. Guys, I know my listeners haven't gotten to see either, they haven't, the Water Phoenix hasn't visited them in their city yet.
Yeah.
But it will
I'm
very
trying.
soon.
I'm really glad that people are reaching. Like we got, the trailer got tweeted by Shadow and Act on IndieWire, and was put on Facebook by Afropunk, and so we've gotten a little bit of press, but like it's been enough to get people looking at it and asking when it's coming to, like, people think it's some big budget film. Like they're all like, when is it getting released? I'm like, it's not getting released, guys. That's not a thing with short films.
Yeah, I saw comments coming in from Germany and all over the place on the Instagram and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I gotta check out the Instagram. I actually haven't looked at it.
Yeah, you do.
I've only been like on Facebook, like trying to update it and like
action going on.
All right,
over there.
I gotta look at that.
Yeah, you do.
And answer them, because and what's great about those, I've realized now, is I can take those when people say that, it's really great, and it gives us a reason to like try and get festivals to program the movie, because they can say, hey, people in your area are interested in seeing this movie, please program us. Thanks. So, I put together something that I can start sending to film festivals, and hopefully they'll respond and get us everywhere. Like, luckily, we're at the very, very beginning of our circuit. So it's like, it'll hopefully we'll get everywhere. by this time next year, we will have been everywhere.
No doubt. So what would you like to do next? I know you just talked a little bit about that. You're really into the supernatural and the sci-fi genres.
Yeah.
What would you like to do with that? What is your best case scenario? Like, what movie would you make if you had an unlimited budget? Give it to me.
I mean, well, like, there's two different types, right? So, like, for me, the movie that I would love to like get my hands on to like redo is The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, I would love to do that movie.
That'd be badass.
It would be so great. I mean, or you know what? That hasn't really been done. Movie that hasn't been done that I would love to do is Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII specifically.
There you go.
Because it's the fan favorite.
It is.
And I love that one. It has a special place in my heart. But yeah, I would kill to do that movie.
Okay. I think it's going to happen, Bola. I honestly have no doubt.
There's so many. Okay, here's the thing. Not to talk of just like being a new filmmaker, but also like there's so many just like different obstacles. It's the new filmmaker obstacle, right? Them getting over that I'm a woman of color and all that or whatever. Okay, say they like, okay, great. We like your work. We like your passion. You're hired. Okay. But then also you have to get past the like Sony level because, what?
Oh, nothing. Just careful about the tapping the table.
You also, sorry. So getting past the woman of color like barrier of being a director, you have to get past that barrier, and then say, okay, cool, we'd love to hire you, but then you also have to get the rights to the film. And from what I hear, it's Sony, I think, that owns Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But like their grip is so tight on that IP because they've been burned in the past before. So you also have to convince them, like, I'm not going to mess up your movie.
Right. I obviously can't speak on the woman of color aspect, but I don't know if I brought this up on the show before, but there's a property that is so close to my heart that is very much along Zombies Ate My Neighbors. You remember this game for the Super Nintendo? Holy crap. It was the coolest game. It had these two kids, and essentially they were running around fighting, zombies, goblins, like demon kids, giant babies, trolls. Like there were
that sounds awesome.
It was endless levels, and they start out with squirt guns, and then as you go through, you find these little treasure boxes in the rooms that you have to break open.
Like you.
And and it was. It's the coolest. It's just the absolute coolest game. So because I'm totally nuts and I just have no shame whatsoever, I got it in my head one day to I'm going to option this. Why has no one optioned this yet? So, and don't ask me how I did this, and I swear to you listeners that this is true. Somehow I found the direct number to LucasArts, right? Who makes the game. Don't know where I found it. Don't know how.
That's some initiative there.
I just called them up, right? And I had a whole spiel. I was like, hi, I'd like to pick up the rights for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I'd like to know about what the next step is in the process. And they said, we didn't make that game. We don't have anything to do with that game. We don't know what you're talking about. So then I found out a few years later that someone had already attempted to pick up the option. So they didn't want to talk to me, obviously, because who the fuck cares who I am? And I've read every great once in a while I'll do a Google search and someone is trying to option it, and it's never happened. But I would love to see it get made.
I mean, there's so many, unfortunately, not great video game movies out there that I'm sure every video game company is very much skeptical about whoever they give their rights to, because it's a touchy thing. I mean, there's a handful of good video game movies, I think.
What are your favorites?
I knew you were going to ask that. I was like, he's going to ask.
Of course.
And I don't want to. I also don't want to put anybody on blast or anything like that. I will say the first one that comes to mind is like definitely the first Resident Evil. I think the first Resident Evil did a good job of really touching into that world. That's all I got on the top of my head.
No, okay. I saw the first Resident Evil in the theater, and my thing is overuse of CGI bothers me a lot.
Oh yeah,
and it was just that would be a whole other show if I went on my rant about overuse of CGI.
Oh,
it's
God,
also
yeah.
one of the problems I had with the new Ghostbusters, but didn't have anything to do with the ladies. It just wasn't a good movie. Yeah, the first Resident Evil was pretty good. I don't know if I could even think of any of them that really did it well. I mean, really well.
I'm also just trying to think of like the other. Oh, another one that I would love to do is Metal Gear Solid, but I would have to get reacquainted with it, to be honest, because I'm like not as like I loved the first one. I played it with my dad.
Cool.
Actually, video game time was like father-daughter time. Like that's why I think it has such a special place in my heart. But like, yeah, Metal Gear Solid, I'd love to do that. Like I think it's so geared towards you just create a story. I think it's an easy one to do, because it's also just it's not shooter. I'm not a shooter game person. I love RPGs.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know that it's so much like overuse of CGI so much as using CGI correctly, because I don't know if you're aware, but like David Fincher uses a ton of CGI in his movies, and a lot of times it's not really noticeable. It's not noticeable because he just does it really well.
Right.
Like
Seamless.
He doesn't use real blood like on set. Anytime you see blood in his movies, usually it's CGI. I mean, there's so many videos online about like how he uses it and what he does specifically. I mean, down to reframing an entire shot just by punching in or whatever, like or adding little details like snow, like adding snow or fixing someone's hair. I remember there's somebody who was talking about him fixing Rooney's bangs in one shot, like not even one shot,
Really?
in a whole scene in Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, I mean. That's like he's a perfectionist and that's the way he works, but he does it so well. And I don't know that anybody realizes like how well he does it, that they don't even know that it's happening. To see that movie, I think it was Dragon Tattoo, that has more of CGI than like Godzilla, like the last one. So that's how well
that's nuts, right?
Yeah.
That's
you just have
crazy.
to use it well. You have to use it in a specific way.
Yeah. He definitely enjoys. He is definitely anal retentive. He enjoys his shots. I was background on a pilot that he shot. This was a couple of years ago now. I don't think he got picked up, which was crazy because it's David Fincher. But
there's all sorts of.
It was walking. It was just a walking shot. It was just like walking up and down. It was at Red Studios, I think.
You guys did it 90 times, didn't you?
63.
There you go.
Yeah, 63 times. I knew what I was in for, so I started counting on the first one.
Yeah, there 63. You go. Make a game of it.
Yeah.
Because you can't change it. That's just what he does.
Yeah.
That's how he gets what he does.
Yeah, but he knows. He knows exactly what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. I love his movies.
Yeah.
Fight Club is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yes.
And I know that like a lot of people think, oh, Girls, that can't be your favorite movie, or if it's your favorite movie, it's because of Brad Pitt. It's like, nah, bitch. It's just a good ass movie.
It's
I mean, down to the opening credits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The fact that like it's every brain like electric wave that like triggers a name credit, and you're starting from the smallest like microcell of a human brain, and then you're getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I can talk about this. We could do a podcast just on this movie.
I would love to. Next show, next episode.
next Fight Club podcast.
Okay.
Like, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Okay. But we couldn't talk about it. Right? That's always the problem.
That would be the whole podcast. Like, hey guys, welcome to Fight Club. That's it. We can't talk about anything.
And
else.
the show. And scene.
Yeah. He's done some of my favorite work. yeah, along with Christopher Nolan, who I've had the pleasure of working with.
What was that on?
I did. I worked on The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh,
all the
that's
LA stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, there's a cool. I can't remember if I haven't looked for it in a while, but at one point, I mean, we had so much paparazzi, but luckily we were pretty good about the sets that we had that weren't too exposed. There was one day where we were downtown, and I mean, a lot downtown, but there was one day where the paparazzi got high enough where they could kind of shoot down and look at us. And I was walking Christian, he was in the full like Batman suit. So we were doing our best to like cover him with like our jackets and our sweaters or whatever. But of course he's taller than all of us, so it wasn't really working. But I faked flash them by like pulling up my shirt. Yeah, I pulled up my shirt, but like just enough to where it looked like I was really about to do something. I was like, distraction, here you go.
Hello, boobies.
But no boobies, because I didn't really pull it all the way up. But like Christian was behind me. He saw that and like, but he couldn't see that I wasn't actually doing it. All he saw was that my shirt was up. But so like he poked me and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, No, it's fake. I'm not actually.
No, I'm helping you.
I'm not actually pulling it all the way up. But there are a couple of pictures online of me like fake flashing the paparazzi.
Does immediate Google search. That's pretty incredible, though.
And, like,
that you got to work with him. He's a pretty slick dude.
Oh, he's so great.
Yet another lame claim to fame, but I worked background for 3 days on The Dark Knight, on the second one.
Oh, nice.
And,
in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah, in a high-rise office building, and it was actually the scene where Joker comes in looking for Harvey Dent and throws Maggie Gyllenhaal out the window and that whole thing, and the most incredible acting experience I could ever hope to have, because Christopher Nolan was doing his thing. He actually had a monitor on a necklace around his neck, like Flavor Flav style, so he could just pick it up and look at it. So he didn't have to walk over to Video
that's the only monitor
Village.
allowed on set, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. There's no Video Village on his movies.
Oh, it's not even there. Holy crap. Yeah.
He stays close to the camera as humanly possible, as safe as possible, and he's in it. Like, that's it. Yeah, and that monitor on his neck that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was face to face with Heath Ledger, seeing him do his thing.
May he rest in peace.
May you rest in peace, for sure.
Yeah, exciting being on the fringe of things, but like,
indeed,
I'm so excited to just be like doing it, because I admire all these filmmakers, and I would just love to try and do something. And that's the problem, though, in the beginning, right? Like you look up to all these filmmakers and you're just like, oh my God, you're so amazing. I could never be that. Like, I have to catch myself sometimes and be like, you know what? You're looking at these people at their prime. You're not gonna be that. And that's totally fine. And like, it's okay. It's like, try not to grade yourself based on their bar, because you'll just be like in the corner crying that you can't be good. But like their bar, I mean, they're just so on another level. Like, you can't use that as typical, because they're not. These guys are at the height of their career, and they're not average. They're so above it, and you should try to reach for that, but don't expect that from yourself, because you'll go crazy. So that's a little thing that I tell myself when I like watch their movies and just like cry afterwards. It's like, I can't do that.
You can continue to aspire to it,
of course, yeah.
But there's watching all of those amazing filmmakers and seeing all the great things that they've done, and then you take it in, and then you have a choice with it. As a filmmaker, as an artist, you can say, oh, that was really great art, now I've seen it, now I'm done. Or how can I utilize that to then create my own art? And you've done that with spectacular spades.
The water, that's kind of where it started. It's just like, I don't see a lot of me in those kind of films. And so, not just me personally, but as, dark-skinned Black women go, just, I got so many messages after people started to see the trailer for The Water Phoenix. Like, so many who, like, one literally was like, this is the movie I've been waiting for since I was 8.
Wow.
And some women were just like, finally, a Black mermaid movie. One that isn't like, that's so caught up in trying to get married, or like it wasn't realistic, or like campy. It was something that was closer to what everybody else is doing, but like, involving people of color in it. Because I also have a Japanese actor in my short, and there's a little black girl in it as well. Like, I want to do what those people are doing, but like inject a little more diversity into it, and in ways that the industry may not have ever done. I think they have a black mermaid in the Siren show on Freeform, I think, but I want to take it to like the feature level. I feel like what Shonda Rhimes is doing when it comes to her shows, as far as people's otherness isn't the storyline. It's not what drives the story. It's not what it's about. It's that they're doing the same thing and they're doing these extraordinary things, but they happen to be people of color. Not this is specifically about people of color.
Right.
So that's kind of my mantra as a filmmaker, is just do that. But like, I would love to do it on a feature level if it's possible, if I'm so blessed to do so.
So you would like to make The Water Phoenix feature length?
For me, it was just a short. I try to think about it as a feature. And if somebody actually is interested in doing that, I may have something. I started to touch on, I have made a pilot that's loosely based on it. There's other things that aren't, of course, in the short that I've created in the pilot when I've written it. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the feature version of The Water Phoenix, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. But I don't want to think about it too much until somebody actually asks.
Throw some money at Bola. She deserves it. That's an awesome film.
I mean, it would be cool, but I'm not living and dying on that hill. I'm just gonna keep moving and keep telling stories.
And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Thank
you so much for joining me today, Bola.
Thanks. That was quick.
Yeah. It always goes fast.
Yeah. I hope that was a good enough, I don't know, a good enough guess.
Oh.
I feel like my brain is in so many places. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, listeners, for dealing with my rambling.
And mine too. And my maniacal laughter that I always have to cut out.
No.
Thank you so much, Zig, for engineering the show.
Yay.
Please follow. Tell the listeners, yes, where they can find you.
All the social things.
Yes.
I'm One Bowl of Fun on nearly everything. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter on One Bowl of Fun, one spelled out, ONEBOLAFUN. And The Water Phoenix has an Instagram. It's just The Water Phoenix Film. And it's on Facebook as well. And yeah.
And Twitter.
Twitter.
Which is Water Phoenix 5.
Yeah. I couldn't get the Water Phoenix for the handle.
Don't you hate that? Yeah.
And the people who are using, they're not even using it.
Yeah,
really.
It's like a bot.
Yeah. Somebody just squatting on it. So I had to use this awkward, Water Phoenix 5. What the hell does that mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It means I couldn't get
That's okay.
actual...
They know where to find you.
But yeah. Yeah. But it's probably better that they follow me, because then I actually use that one, and the other one will probably die as soon as I'm done with the movie anyway. So
we shall see.
We shall see. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, thank you so much, Bola.
Pickles, hello! Welcome to Friend or Foe. How are you?
Hello, I am well tonight.
And you're calling from Minnesota?
I am. I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I am a mere hour and a half from Darwin, Minnesota, the home of the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota, built by one man.
Whoa. So awesome. There is a song dedicated to it by you-know-who.
Every time I say it, I'm like, more pickled wiener.
Yes! Pickles was showering me with accolades on my nerdiness, and then the audio messed up, so we had to start this over. Pickles, it's so wonderful to talk with you. Thank you so much for joining me here on the show today. You are the creator, producer, showrunner of the all amazing. I should say amazing Al-Stravaganza that's rolling through Los Angeles once again on September 22nd in association with Peep Show Menagerie. And you've got the whole tight and nerdy gang. I saw the show once before when you guys were performing here in Los Angeles, and it's the most incredible burlesque show I've ever seen. I mean, it's one of the most amazing stage productions I've ever witnessed. So tell me a little bit about the genesis of how you put the show together and how the tour came together and all that sort of thing. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, thank you. That is a huge compliment coming from you. So, honestly, from the moment I burst onto the burlesque stage, I knew that I wanted to do an act or several acts to the music of Weird Al Yankovic. And I had pitched the idea several times in my first 6 months of performing to local producers in the Bay Area. And people weren't really interested. They were like, no one's going to want to see that. And I'm like, everyone will want to see that.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. So enter Jim Sweeney of Hubba Hubba Review in San Francisco. There is a long-running show called Monday Night Hubba, and I asked Jim if I could have a Monday night to put on my all Weird Al burlesque show. And he said, yeah, I guess. And he was like, I don't know who's going to want to see that, but sure. So he had enough faith in my determination, and I set out and cast some of my favorite weirdos, and our show was, we actually held the record for the most attended Monday Night Hubba for a few years. We had a huge attendance. I actually spoke to Weird Al on the phone for that show, and he tweeted out our flyer, which I almost died.
Nice.
And it was amazing. It was everything I hoped it could be. And so from there, I was like, this was so much fun, and the world needs to see this. So I took the show on the road, and I contacted some friends in the Pacific Northwest. And within a year, we were doing our first tour. We did Seattle and Portland. We did Fresno. We did San Luis Obispo. And then finally we did LA. And we just kept going to these cities. And it's been that way ever since. We tour a few times a year. We alternate years when we do the Pacific Northwest. And in the past 2 years, we have actually created the Al-Stravaganza Weekender, where we do 2 nights in St. Paul. And it's amazing.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, talk about, taking the country by storm. And like when I saw this the first time, I was overwhelmed with the joy at all the, the amazing costumes and, every thread of the show really speaks of Al and all his little inside jokes. It's really amazing. So this year you're partnering with the Peep Show, which is awesome. And the show is going to be on Adams Boulevard at the Feu de Dos. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. And speaking of the poster, let's talk about this poster for a minute. Who put this together for you?
So Chris Beyond, who is one of the co-producers of Peep Show, does the poster every year, and it's just gotten funnier and crazier as we go along. Originally, it was Al on a Twinkie hot dog, and then another leg got added, and then Al went underwater, and it's just genius, and it makes me laugh every time I see it. It's pretty funny.
They are pretty hilarious. I've been collecting them as you've been doing the shows. Whenever you tweet a new poster, I'm like, oh, that's worlds of amazing.
We we enjoy it. And, you know, we actually, this is going to sound really funny, we try to keep it somewhat tasteful. You know, we love Al and we want to be respectful, so we don't, I mean, I've seen, because since we've started, other Al burlesque shows have popped up, and, you know, some of them, like, their posters are just, I feel like they're a bit raunchy, and that's not the spirit of Al. Even though we're taking our clothes off to him, we like to keep him pin-up Al. We like to keep him, you know, if Al's daughter saw the poster, she wouldn't be offended, or, you know, she could see it. And that's really, we feel, we respect Al. We love Al, so we want to treat him with the respect that he deserves.
Right, and I'm sure the entire Yankovic family appreciates that, because you're absolutely right. You know, Al is he's zany and wild, and, you know, irreverent at times, but he's definitely, you know, he has a conservative. You know, I mean, there's a line for sure.
Absolutely, and we want to respect Al, and you know, but we want it to be funny and cheeky at the same time. So Al in a bikini or in a farmer's, you know, daughter outfit, we feel that's not crossing any lines.
No. And I love the show subtitled Tight and Nerdy. That's just, it's so right on.
Yeah, I knew once we did the show that there would be other Weird Al burlesque shows. I knew other people were going to do them. So we could really grasp onto being the world's first and only all Weird Al burlesque themed troupe. We only perform, you know, to the music of Weird Al, and I think that kind of separates us.
So this is a whole thing. You've spawned a whole phenomena of Weird Al burlesque. Is this happening a lot? Are there other burlesque troupes that do this?
Well, there's no other troupes, but there are definitely shows pop up all over the country by other burlesque performers. Some have reached out to us and they're like, hey, do you want to perform with us? You know, a lot of times it's just a matter of logistics or money, or, you know, some gals just don't do their homework and are like, I want to do a Weird Al burlesque show and just put one on. And that's fine. I mean, we don't own the music of Weird Al, so if you want to do it, go ahead. But, you know, we lay claim to that we're the first and only troupe. So that, you know, that makes us special.
So my question is, I guess, if I decide to put on my own burlesque show, will you perform in it?
It depends on the theme, but yeah, you know, honestly, here's the thing. For the most part, I have pretty much hung up my G-string unless it's to the music of Weird Al. Unless it's, you know, Weird Al burlesque, I am just going to stay clothed. Okay. But if I can perform a Weird Al song in your show, then sure.
Excellent. So what is your I know this is the mind-bending question, but what is your favorite Weird Al song, or what is your favorite Weird Al song to perform to?
Ooh, well, you know, I have 3 acts. I have Amish Paradise, I have CNR, and I have a new act that you haven't seen yet that you will see today. I Want a New Duck. You know, it's so hard. I really do love performing to Amish Paradise. I mean, I have a butter churn that I use like a stripper pole, and
oh my God.
It's real. Yeah, I know. It's wrong, but yet so right. And there's a moment in the act when I lick the butter churn handle like a stripper pole. You know,
yes.
And every time I do it, all of my friends are afraid I'm going to get a splinter in my tongue, which has never happened. But they'll worry. But yeah, I think I would have to say Amish Paradise is my favorite. I do love performing to CNR because it's kind of my big FU. Because not many people know the song, and even more shockingly, not many people in the audience these days actually know who Charles Nelson Riley is. So they're like, "Why is
that's a travesty?
Away?
That is an absolute travesty."
He is scrumptious, you know, and so it just. But I don't know. I mean, they're all good, but I would have to say I'd have to go back to Amish Paradise. I'm not bringing it this tour because the butter churn actually does
Aw.
a little unlovely. Yeah, if I have to fly, one of the first things I have to do when I land is I have to find a 6 foot 3/4 inch wooden dowel, which is not always easy. I've done it before. I had a nice friend in Seattle who actually got me the wooden dowel. So it was waiting for me. But yeah, it's kind of I have to actually travel with a butter churn. I have a smaller butter churn that I could actually fit in one of my bags. But it's just funny because the TSA always searches.
Oh, I have no doubt. I was just going to say that. I'm sure that's quite a trip as you're going through the full body scanner. Would cause quite a pretzel, as it were.
Oh, yeah. No. I usually check it, and I actually am disappointed if the TSA doesn't pull my bag to check at some point.
For sure.
I feel like I haven't done my job as an American.
Right. Oh my God, that's amazing. Well, I don't know if you remember me talking about Jebediah the last time we spoke. I actually have an Amish character too that I was trying to talk you into being a part of the show when I met you before. Have you ever seen Jebediah? I'll have to send you a photo. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh, no, I've seen photos. You have a picture of I think you're at Comic-Con dressed as Jebediah.
With Olivia Munn. Yep.
Yes, I appreciate that level of dedication.
He loves his butter churn too, for sure.
Who doesn't?
Man, so I'm just so excited about the show, especially with the new acts. That sounds absolutely amazing. Now you are the it's not just you. It takes a whole village, is what I'm trying to get to here. Tell me about your other performers.
So we have the core four, which would be myself, Mistress Marla Sphinx, Pearly Gates, and Odessa Lil. And the core four are a group of women who have been there from the start. They, for the most part, have never missed a show, and they really support they support the show with me. And it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time and money. I mean, whenever we tour, we're taking days off of work, we're buying plane tickets, and I don't think that we've ever not lost money doing it. But we do it because we love it. And it's, since I moved to the Midwest, it's actually like a big slumber party with your closest, bestest friends. So it's really awesome. And I just love them. And in our travels, we had actually picked up a performer. The infamous Nina Nightshade is in Portland, and she is doing an act which you have never seen. Actually, for this show, Devlin, I think you have only seen 2 of the acts. The rest are all new.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, you're going to have a whole new slate.
I can't wait.
Yeah, right? And then, but yeah, we picked up Nina Nightshade, and she does a very potato-rific act, not to give too much away. And but she also has an act to King of Suede, and she's just really honored to have her with us.
That is amazing. Holy crap, Pickles. I can't wait. And listeners, it's a cheap ticket. It's only $15 to get in the door. Now, are there any VIP tickets still available?
I think there are. There might be I think last time we checked there was 5. And then VIPs just get like a little goodie bag, and they get front row seats. And we will have some merch for sale now. We have our Keep Burlesque Weird mugs and pint glasses and totes. And I'm even putting together, all evening I've been making tiny little twine balls, the smallest balls of twine in Minnesota.
Biggest ball of twines in Minnesota. That's amazing.
Exactly, and you can buy your very own, made from the blood, sweat, and tears of my own hands. I mean, it's pretty great. And as always, there's a costume contest, so we have infamously shitty prizes. These prizes are, I think we've had everything from Spam T-shirts to clown coin banks. Cans of Spam. I mean, you can pretty much win something that you never knew you wanted and or needed just for dressing up like Weird Al.
Pickles, I've always dreamed of having a giant cheese head of Weird Al. Is that possible to win?
I don't think so, but I am in Minnesota. Maybe next year we can convince them to do a butter queen out of Weird Al, because that would be amazing.
That would be incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe tiny accordions or something, or like paper mache accordions, maybe.
Yeah, my head spins. I mean, it's just the only thing from keeping me from just totally losing control and just diving in is just time and money. But yeah, I have ideas.
I have no doubt. Well, Pickles, thank you so very, very much for joining me. Please tell my listeners where they can buy tickets and where to find you and the show.
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page, we're tight and nerdy. We will be at the Phi Dodo on 922 in Los Angeles. You can get those tickets at peepshowmenagerie.com. And 923, we will be in Oakland at the Uptown, where it all started. We are having a homecoming show with Hubba Hubba Review, and it's amazing because some of the girls who were in that very first show are coming back and they're doing their acts. So we're so excited because I haven't seen these acts in 4 or 5 years now, and it's going to be amazing. So yes, come to the show, say hello. I'll give you a free button. Take photos with us. Tweet us, whatever. We cannot wait to meet you. Come dressed as Weird Al. It's going to be the weirdest, funnest night, apart from a Weird Al concert, that you can have.
I love it. Thank you so much, Pickles. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to see the show with the all new pieces. And listeners, please check out Al-Stravaganza and Pickles Kintaro at all the places. And as always, you can find our show at Friend or Foe Pod, that's FAUX, and all our current episodes at friendorfoepod.com. Pickles, it's been lovely. I will see you on September 22nd.
I'll see you this week. Thank you so much, Devlin. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
Of course, you can follow the show across social at Friend or Foe Pod. That's FAUX. The official website is friendorfoepod.com, where you can listen to all of the current episodes, including this one. And you can follow me, Devlin Wilder, across social at Devlin Wilder. Thank you so much for listening. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Visit jabberjawmedia.com for more shows like this one.